So here we go with our next race. It is our fourth of 6 junior road tax heats. It's groups B versus C. Let's have a look at the starting grid, folks. Casper Schormans and Thomas Behrman will be on the front row. Boluet and Taze Stevens. Row 2, Tino Sidler and Taze van Wijk. That is row 3, Luca Brima and Mika van der Pavert. Row 4, Kenzo Crazy and Mitchell van Dijk. Not Kenzo Crazy, Kenzo Craigie, my apologies there. Mitchell van Dijk lines up alongside the 250 from the United Kingdom on row 5. Charlie Smith, Lucas Sells, that's row 6. Olivia Yonkers, Hyam Bulguino, Max Sidursky, Sky Parker, Matej Radenkovic, Danny Shields, Naim Pretag, and Mati Soumetre. That is your 20-strong grid for this race. So once again, we will have 7 minutes on the clock plus an additional lap. As the red lights ignite on the starting gantry. So at the moment, Armand Hamilton has taken a race victory. So is Archie Clark. Well, Armand Hamilton has got 2 in his pocket at the moment, winning the opening heats provisionally this weekend. Through the chicane they go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's heat 4 for junior road tax. Are we ready? Are we steady? Revs rise! And I'm not... Well, the lights have gone out. We are underway, so it was a clean start. And Casper Schormans has the lead. Boluet up into second. We do have a yellow flag situation. Well, no, we're being... right. Because there was... So because the lights had a oh, dear, we've just had a calamity into turn number 4. So I think there was a 3-kart collision through turn number 4. It has been called as a full start, I believe, so the timer will be reset. So hopefully, for those that were involved in that melee, yellow flags came... Well, we've got a full course yellow. So the red lights will have been restarted. Timer has been reset. Right, they're going to line them up on the start-finish straight, so we are going to have a full restart. So if the drivers are out of their customary positions, they will be put into the right grid positions, and we will restart this 4th heat, Groups B versus C for Junior Road Tax heat number 4.
Iets hoger, man. Staat je hier hoogte. En hier heb je zo'n die karton. Je moet dit karton hier. Heb je geen dicht? Hoe maak je dat dicht? Met karton. Hier had je eruit, pak je er nog een nieuw stuk grond. En dat hier over. Dan pak je het dicht. En dat is steendicht. Ingeving, regen of niet dicht.
Doe morgen. Maar ik heb morgen niet regent, of wel?
Ja, maar morgenochtend wel. En dan moet je hier de vlak maken.
Ja, gewoon...
Het is nooit hier idee zagen, niet eronder leggen.
Ja.
Ik heb het geprobeerd uit te leggen, maar ik snap het wel niet. Ik heb het al 3 keer gezegd.
Dat is niet handig. Officieel? Moet zo gaan staan?
Heb ik dit gedaan?
Officieel? Ja, ik ga het niet doen, hè? Nee, ik doe gewoon zo. Nee, ik doe gewoon zo.
Ik vind het vet al
En zo. Moet zo gaan staan.
Ja, maar
Dit is niet handig zomaar. Oh, dat is niet handig, want het is hoger. Deze moet weg. Deze moet weg. Kijk. Dit is beter. Hey. Dit is beter.
Daar kan je zo kijken. Daar staat.
Huh?
Daar kijk je zo.
Ja.
Als je daar staat.
Hey, we zijn aan het rijden.
So quite a few drivers were taken off of the start-finish straight when we had the red flag just a moment ago. So it looks like we're going to be getting things back underway. Looks like a couple of drivers. I think Charlie Smith is going to be starting from the dummy grid. So what will happen is the American in the 236 on the OTK chassis will be released as soon as the race starts underway very, very shortly. Also looks like Kenzo Craigie will be starting from the dummy grid. So as soon as the field has been released, it's Shawman's on pole. Behrman alongside him, a couple of gaps where Smith and Craigie were due to start. 7 minutes plus an additional lap, so we are going to go and do a full restart. Into the tram lines we go. Are we ready? Are we steady? First time of asking. Lights go out. And we are underway. Casper Shawmans gets the perfect start he wanted. As Bolowet looking to try and get through on Thomas Behrman for that second position. Dave Stevens was sticking his nose up the inside through turn 3 on Bolowet, but was not far enough alongside to facilitate an overtaking opportunity. So the 2-2-4 stays in third position at this moment. So 6 minutes and 20 still to go on the clock, plus an additional lap. Gasper Schomans has got a slight advantage. I probably would measure that by eyesight, probably around about 0.3 of a second. As we are about to complete our opening lap, maybe even make that closer to half a second. Through the chicane for the first time. Schauman's lead is 0.669. As Tino Sidler was battling away with, looks like it was Tay Stevens who he's got through on. Just behind them, looks like we've got Taze van Wijk in the 2-4-6, which is the case. Five minutes and 30 still to go. Tay Stevens keeps ahead of Tino Sidler. And then Days van Wijk gets through. Look at the freight train behind, though. Positions being lost by Max Swiderski. And is it going to be nearly 3 wide down the main start-finish straight, a little bit further towards the back end of the top 10, maybe just outside it? There was a glimpse of that happening as Tino Sidler trying to get past on Mika van der Pavert, but up the inside of him. That was the 2.70 of Mitchell van Dijk, who's being coached by Debbie Hansen these days. I know, Debbie, that you're here. Does a lot of Debbie Hansen, owner and boss at Deb Sports. There's a lot of driver coaching with the likes of Chris Hahn and Robert Hahn, who's been just recently racing at Circuit Zandvoort for the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany and Benelux as all. There was a bit of a contretemps there going through into the final couple of corners. And it's bump and run time here. Oh, steady now. Oh, nearly 3 wide coming into the chicane. That was hairy at its best. Now it's a slipstream fest. Mitchell van Dijk pulls the trigger and goes up the inside. That was of the 206 of the UAE's Danny Shields. Mitchell you can just see how calm and composed some drivers are. Some are possibly hesitating. Others will be just waiting for their opportunity to bathe in the limelight, even though we haven't got any sun, as that is the 290 that just loses a couple of places. Has just got Kenzo Craigie right behind. That's nameplate tag. So Kenzo Craigie trying to move a bit further up the order. He's right at the back end of the grid. So Mika van der Pavert having to battle away with Francis Lucasels and Switzerland's Tino Sidler. And that is for 6th position. So 6th, 7th and 8th are in a train. It's the Junior Rotax freight train, that is. But Tino Sidler trying to put the pressure onto Francis Lucasel. That is for 7th place on the road as they're going to come through the penultimate right-hander now into the last right-hander before the flick-flack chicane, or literally one that you could just plant it and say, heavens to Betsy, I can straight line this thing at full pelt. Just over 2 minutes to go. Fastest lap of the race is by the driver. Well, it was Thijs van Wijk. It's now Max Sadursky, who's just got into the 56.9s. The temperatures have, well, it's definitely, oh, and we've had an incident coming out of turn number 1, one of which is the Ultimate R liveried Cosmic chassis of Trologan's Sky Parker. Oh, and Sky Parker's going to have to park that. It's got a noisy exhaust on the 237, I'm afraid. One minute and 15 seconds still to go. So 3 laps of this 1.388 kilometre circuit still to be negotiated. Some real slipstream style battles are happening. But with 45 seconds to go, there can be any possibility that something might happen, and sure as heck it does. Change for position, Tino Sidler. Back up the inside of Lucas Els, who instantly counter-attacks and retakes the position back. "20 seconds still remain. Mika van der Pavert now pulling away from Lucas El and Tino Sidler. So Sky Parker parked the cart in the pit lane. She knew for a fact that her exhaust was not going to help her anymore, and circumnavigated the necessity for a mechanical black flag, the meatball flag, to be shown to her on the digital flag. As, oh, it's getting a bit feisty now. Oh, dearie me, the 228. Ryan Bourguignon, 2 wheels onto the grass, coming out of turn number 3 as the timer expires here in the 4th out of 6 heats. And Bollouette is now going to go onto the final lap, and he has in his crosshairs the 240, the Flying Dutchman, Casper Schomans from JJ Racing. One more lap to go. How close is Louette? Just under 3/10. He's got to make up a lot of time in the next handful of corners to even maybe have a sniff to try and get through on Schomans and get the win. Behrman in a solid 3rd. Thijs van Wijk rounding out the top 4. Thijs Stevens in 5th position as we go into turn 5 for what is the final time. The fast-flowing, sweeping, curvaceous right-hander. But Schomans, once he hit the front, or when he stayed at the front, no one could really get close enough to try and get through on him. Into the final right-hander, now the chicane, and it's pedal to the metal, it's foot to the floor. Casper Schomans wins heat number 4, not by much, but it was comfortable. 0.372 seconds separating P1 and P2. Thomas Behrman rounds out the top 3 with 8.5 tenths separating 1st to 3rd. Thijs van Wijk and Thijs Stevens round out the top 5 ahead of Mika van der Pavert, Lucas Els, Tino Sidler, Matej Radenkovic starting from a little bit further down the order than we would normally see him. Ends up 9th ahead of Max Sadursky from the Netherlands, Mitchell van Dijk, Ryan Bourguignon, Olivier Jonkers, Danny Shields, Luca Bremer, Kenzo Craigie, Charlie Smith, Naim Breitag and Mathieu Zometre round out the 19 that finished the race. And with just 1 lap to go, with an incident involving Sky Parker, the number 237, would require to withdraw and go back to the pit lane with a noisy exhaust.